Season 3 Episode 1 at the Hero Association. High-ranking executives insist that King was the one who destroyed Elder Centipede. Meanwhile, the hero hunter Garou is regarded by them as a monster, and they have even designated him a dragon-level threat that must be defeated immediately. Silverfang, then, failed to take down Garou, so there is a possibility he will join the Monster Association. The reason the rank 1 hero, Blast, hasn't acted is that he only performs hero duties of his own free will. Thus, we decided to give him special treatment because he deserves it. He only acts when humanity is truly in need of help. Upon hearing this, a wealthy man bursts in to complain. My son was kidnapped by monsters, yet you people still haven't made a move? The executive extends his hand to reassure him. We will definitely save your son. Please keep that in mind. On the other side, Tatsumaki tells everyone there's no need to plan because she will handle everything. Currently, Child Emperor is using robots to scout the underground path that Elder Centipede took, with the goal of locating the monster's hideout. Tatsumaki suggests she should just flip the entire City Z over since their hideout is underneath anyway. If there weren't a hostage, she might have done so already. She knows the opponent is tough but feels annoyed that the executive is micromanaging things. Actually, he came to announce that Metal Knight proceeded with an investigation alone without permission. The problem is that the signal from his transmitter has been lost, so everyone can assume the Metal Knight unit has been destroyed. Tatsumaki doesn't care much and tells him to hurry up and gather enough members. The executive replies, "The Monster Association gave us a 3-day deadline. We still have time to gather heroes." A moment later, Sekengal steps up to explain the current situation to Atomic Samurai. Since yesterday, he and his disciples have been exterminating monsters everywhere but still haven't found their hideout. Naturally, because their base is located in the ghost town. After hearing this, the group intends to rest when they run into Amai Mask. The young man expresses disdain, bluntly calling Atomic Samurai's group a bunch of weaklings, saying it would be troublesome if they got taken hostage, so they should give up on this mission. Feeling insulted, old Atomic Samurai retorts that his disciples are very strong. I'll tell them to protect the idle boy in times of danger. Amai Mask reminds the room that he can advance to S-Class anytime he wants, and that he is even stronger than Atomic Samurai. Luckily, the disciples intervene, otherwise the two would have torn each other apart. At the prison, the warden has decided to release Pori Pori prisoner for a special reason. Previously, a cat-like monster turned some prisoners into monsters and took them away. Many staff members were infected and lost their lives, so you must go out and fight Pori Pori. Prisoner. Before he leaves, a brother in prison rushes out to give a sweater to the leader, saying, "If you can, please wear this." Purpur prisoner happily accepts it with all his heart and thanks his honey very much. After kicking everyone out of the room, Child Emperor contacts Metal Knight, Beaufoy. You must know the location of the hideout. Do you intend to abandon the hostage since you haven't said anything? Metal Knight retorts, if I speak, everyone's lives will be threatened, so I chose to remain silent. Child Emperor tries to persuade him to participate directly in this operation, asking if his robot knight was destroyed by monsters. The doctor reveals it was defeated by the monster Orochi with a single strike. Honestly, I don't fear the monster association at all. What I worry about are other forces still lurking in this world. When humanity's defenses become lax, they will strike and plunder immediately. I advise you not to trust anyone, even those right next to you. Accumulate power and save it for later use. At the same time, the wealthy man, out of impatience, hired a mercenary group to find his son. Just bring the boy back safely and I will change your lives. While Zombie Man is silently tracking clues, Fubuki is in trouble after her entire group was crushed by her older sister. The girl proactively goes to Saitama's apartment and is greeted by an old man. Led inside, Fubuki freezes upon realizing the room is full of formidable heroes. Why on earth are they all gathered here? Only when Saitama speaks does she snap back to reality and tells Cape Baldy to stop playing games. The Monster Association is about to run wild, yet he is lounging around like it's nothing. King and Genos being here is understandable, but why is Old Bang here too? The old man explains he just finished fighting and is lying there to rest a bit due to a strained back, while Bomb has a sore knee from overusing his techniques. Everyone is battered, except for the bald guy lying there nonchalantly. Hearing Fubuki angrily criticized them. No one understands except King. She sits down to hold a strategy meeting to deal with the current situation. With permission, Genos recounts that yesterday he was busy cheering for his master at the martial arts tournament and participated in combat. Most of everyone's communication devices are broken for various reasons, so they haven't received news from the Hero Association. For now, Genos will prioritize repairing his mechanical body to prepare for battle. The two old men, due to age and weakness, need more time to rest. King, always slippery, claims he has private matters to attend to and declines. In short, only Fubuki and Saitama can act immediately. If possible, she wants the two of them to cooperate to achieve merit in this mission. Furthermore, she expresses concern regarding the monsters. It seems they are ruled by a boss, and if Garou joins them, it will be very troublesome. Therefore, Bang missing the chance to finish him off will make things more complicated. Hearing King mention that many strong heroes were defeated by him, Saitama feels hurt. Is it because I'm Kate Baldy that he ignored me? In a fit of pique, Saitama decides to put on his costume and go out to find Garou. I'll go find and punch that brat and stop by the supermarket to buy cabbage while I'm at it. After all that, Fubuki fails to recruit him and sadly sits at his house. Upon waking up, Garou is startled to realize he is still alive. Through a letter, he knows he was saved by the Monster Association. They only requested Garou to sit still in the waiting room, but the young man doesn't listen. He crumples the paper and throws it away while his whole body trembles with pain. He needs to find something to eat to replenish his strength. After destroying the door, Garou walks while contemplating everything. Besides that, he smells a thick, nauseating scent of blood. Seeing a group of people kneeling and begging for mercy, Garou carefully hides behind a wall to observe what they will do to the mercenaries. Amidst the monster's mocking laughter, the scarred man tears up and blames the robot. If not for it, they would have escaped to the surface. That robot is Machine God G5, sent by a mysterious organization to assist the Monster Association. Gyoro is curious to know how the opponent found this hideout without getting lost. Despite asking repeatedly, receiving only silence, the monster switches to telling Garou to rest via telepathy. Machine God G5 remarks that the mercenary group's equipment has extremely high combat performance. But, unfortunately, it is customized for each individual, so it's useless to him. But instead of eliminating them, a female monster jumps down and suggests taming them all. The group is confused, and before they understand what's happening, they are whipped and become her slaves. Waiting for her to finish recruiting, Garou boldly steps out right in front of the monsters. There are many formidable opponents here, but he is wary of the giant sitting right behind him, Orochi. Alright, what do you want me to do? Gyoro reveals that the number of demon-level monsters and above has dropped to less than 30. Although they have enough power to beat the heroes, they still lack unity. Frankly, I want you to become a leader and assist me. Someone with strong anti-hero ideology like you is the talent I am looking for. To achieve that position, you must prove to Orochi that you are a monster. Within one day, I want you to bring the head of a hero here. When he learns that Old Man Bang is still alive, Garou's expression changes. After he leaves, Goro calls two monsters and orders them to follow Garou. Meanwhile, two assassins are setting a goal to crush the Hero Association and Flash. After trying the monster cell those two gave him, Sonic finally escapes the toilet after severe diarrhea. Although bitter, he feels his body is strangely light. Sonic smirks, thinking he is about to turn into a monster, not noticing the 2 kilograms of weight he lost was just from what he flushed. Episode 2 Fearing Humanity will be wiped from the Earth server by monsters. A group has demonstrated to form the Monster Worship Party to avoid extinction. They even demand coexistence, causing tensions to escalate. Those who oppose are kidnapped by them to be used as sacrifices. Just then, Garou passes by, seeing society becoming chaotic. He flicks a finger to knock both out and lectures them. Do you think offering sacrifices will get you spared? Human society is already wavering. It's truly pathetic. On the way to find a place to eat, Garou coincidentally encounters an old man being threatened by a drunkard. Ignoring attempts to stop him, the man insists that everyone will be killed by monsters anyway. So why should he restrain himself? Seeing Garou casually walk over to chase him away, the drunk immediately pulls a knife to attack. In an instant, Garou breaks the blade and points it at his eye. If you act rashly again, you'll go blind, kid. After the warning, Garou enters a restaurant, orders a super huge meal, and eats ravenously. Seeing this isn't enough to fill the gaps in his teeth, he orders the entire menu and begins to devour it frantically. Witnessed by everyone, the young man eats until he chokes, downing a glass of water in one gulp, then makes a satisfied face after filling his hungry stomach. On the other side, Saitama has also just finished eating, but can't find his wallet. He must have dropped it at the supermarket. Gino's is currently broken, so he can't call for help. Truly unlucky. The young man sweats buckets, fearing he'll be misunderstood as a dine and dasher if he confesses to the staff. Is his career ending here? Coincidentally meeting the male lead at the diner, Fubuki sits down to discuss the earlier matter. Hearing he plans to find the hero hunter, she asks if he needs a hand. She is willing to help on the condition that he splits 70% of the points with her. If this mission succeeds, he will be promoted to B-class rank 5, just agree to cooperate. And she will help investigate the hunter's identity. When the waiter places a plate of fries on the table, Saitama immediately pushes it over to invite her with a goofy smile, making Fubuki suspicious. Hearing the staff catch someone dining and dashing, Saitama's hair stands up because he hasn't done anything yet but feels caught. Hearing the dine and dasher just ran out of the shop, Caped Baldy immediately chases after him and asks Fubuki to pay the bill. Hearing this, she looks exhausted, not expecting the bald guy to be this stingy. Afternoon falls, Garou walks while thinking about the condition the monster gave earlier. Killing a hero to be recognized as a monster sounds ridiculous. Being a monster means mere existence is enough to spread fear. Seeing the kid Tario being bullied in the park, Garou shouts to chase the brats away, making them run so fast they almost lose their pants. He approaches and asks the pitiful boy why he's crying with such a pathetic face. Being called Mr. by the kid, the young man immediately retorts, "I'm only 18 and you dare call me Mr.?" Garou turns away, telling the kid to go home quickly or he'll get kidnapped by monsters. Tario tears up, apologizing for running away. He saw with his own eyes the Mr. being gang-beaten by heroes, but clearly they were wrong, right? Because back then, he shielded the kid from bullets. This time he saved the kid again, so the boy believes he is on the side of justice. Garou covers the kid's mouth, telling him to stop saying such cringe-worthy things when Saitama arrives to complain. Being a grown man yet daring to dine and dash, truly unscrupulous. After the warning, Cape Baldy immediately walks away, making Garou feel uneasy. "You didn't come to destroy me, you coward? Though I don't know your identity, if you are a hero, Garou will hunt you." Tario is helpless, not expecting the mister who looks like that to be a dine and dasher. The bald uncle intended to let it go, so it's best not to cause trouble anymore. Garou veins pop, not expecting the day he'd be pitied by a low-class hero and a child. Hearing Old Bang is still alive after the battle, he feels strangely relieved. Realizing he is still too soft, Garou decides to take this bald guy's head. All to prove he is a terrifying monster. Garou grabs his shoulder, preparing to strike, but takes a direct punch from Saitama and goes flying. After knocking him out, he worriedly asks the kid if he knows who that was. Since Tario shakes his head saying no, he borrows the guidebook to check, suddenly realizing his name isn't in the Hero Association list. Saitama immediately leaves, leaving the boy confused. A moment later, Garou wakes up and hears the boy recount the whole situation. About to ask if the kid knows the bald guy's identity, a voice suddenly speaks up. After secretly following and observing him all day, the two monsters see Garou lacks the aura of a monster, so they decided to eliminate him right here. The hunter stands up, telling the kid to go home. It seems these guys have something to say to him. Suddenly the boy trembles after realizing the identity of the person standing right in front of him. Turns out Royal Ripper, who specializes in kidnapping children, is real. Seeing this, both approach to apologize for accidentally making the boy cry. I intended to save his scream of fear for later, but he did it already. Anyway, you won't survive, so apologies, kid. Before the two sides rush into a brawl, Phoenix Man goes to the private room asking why Gyoro sent those two belligerent ones to monitor Garou. Aren't they unruly ones who always disobey orders? especially the crazy murderer seeking pleasure in killing. Goro believes this will push Garou to develop further through conflict. This is a trial for the one who is still hesitating. First, Garou must be beaten until both his body and spirit are tattered. I want to see how he changes when tasting. The true terror of a monster. To answer Phoenix Man's question, Goro asks, "What kind of monster do you think Lord Orochi is?" He reveals that actually, he used to be a human just like Garou. After countless failures and sacrifices, Lord Orochi finally became the ultimate creature, a being worthy of being called the Monster King. I know that very well because I am the one who created him. If nurtured properly, Garou can become a second Lord Orochi. And supposing he dies, it doesn't matter. If that happens, we just wait for the next test subject to appear. At the same time, Zombieman has discovered the hideout of suspicious individuals. It seems they are continuously transporting a large amount of equipment and mysterious powder. Inside, after reporting, he decides to infiltrate to catch the whole bunch. Facing two extremely dangerous monsters with high bloodlust, Garou takes off his bandages and expresses disappointment at their weakness. They glare, challenging the hunter to take the kid's head. Being a monster means abandoning humanity and cutting all ties with humans, yet you save that boy? If you want to be a member of the Monster Association, you must prove you are trustworthy. The two monsters proudly boast we are the organization that will destroy and rule humanity, therefore. We don't need someone defeated by a mediocre hero. Garou boils with anger, telling the kid to stand up and go. Don't think just because you fall someone will reach out to save you. You must protect yourself, do you hear? In times like this, only by getting stronger can you survive. Remembering similar words the uncle said, the bowl-cut kid immediately stands up just as the killer strikes. Immediately, Garou uses martial arts to block his blade, then lifts him up and kicks him, sending the killer flying a distance. He quickly stabs his sword into the ground to land, then flips a few times to look cool. Seeing Garou protecting the kid, the two monsters become even more furious. Just as we thought, you are just a weakling. Ignoring the cheap insults, Garou calmly takes a stance and tells both to bring it on. At the shopping district, Zombieman is on his way to catch those operating suspiciously in secret. After many days of tracking, he finally found the House of Evolution hiding under a diner. I know your plot clearly. Come out now. Seeing they are stubborn, Zombieman pulls out his democracy and asks, "Have you heard of test subject number 66? Hearing the gorilla say the House of Evolution was destroyed long ago, Zombieman is totally shocked, not expecting them to actually open a diner. Episode 3 mentioning subject 66. Dr. Genus immediately associates it with the only successful subject in the Immortal series. But then he destroyed the lab and disappeared. While reminiscing about the past, suddenly Zombieman jumps on the table, demanding to finish the doctor. Before acting, he wants to know why the House of Evolution disappeared. Genus sweats cold bullets, replying, "My research failed. I witnessed a power far exceeding any artificial evolution. He is the one who broke the limiter of a human." Back at the park, Garou throws an extremely powerful punch, but he is the one taking damage. Before he can recover, he has to strain to fight the killer, using martial arts honed through battles. Garou is capable of dealing with the dangerous slashes, but absolutely cannot let his guard down. One was tough enough, now he has to strain to handle two. Suddenly Bug God rushes in, delivering a blow that makes him cough up blood. Knocked into nearby power lines, Garou gets an adrenaline rush. Decided to go all out with these two monsters. Dr. Genus reveals that to achieve that unprecedented power, he traded his hair and had to endure the absolute solitude that power brought. Hearing this, Zombieman thinks the doctor researched too much and went crazy. I know a few guys who exceed limits too. Genus tremblingly asserts that his power is on a completely different level than what he can imagine. Humans turning into monsters usually fall into various cases, but generally, they all have cell mutations and undergo a mutation process. There are also cases of transformation due to the power of science, and even non-human creatures can become monsters. But all the above cases are evolution, not breaking the limiter. Monsters are inherently different creatures possessing intelligence and instincts to oppose humans, while heroes possessing extraordinary power are people born with superior potential. Only Saitama is a normal person without any special potential. By his own effort, he broke that limiter. Whenever you have a chance to meet that bald guy, you will understand what I'm saying. Zombieman has no further opinion, he just didn't expect this lame organization to actually open a shop selling takoyaki. Ending round 1, the two monsters acknowledge Garou is someone with skill. Initially they only intended to play a little, but now they are getting serious. Garou spits a tooth onto the ground, confidently declaring they are still green. If you're tough, come at me, I'll take both. Suddenly Sludge Jellyfish brings Tario to the park, saying he has a personal grudge against him, making Garou furious. True, I beat you into mud, but what does the kid have to do with it? Waiting for just that, the two monsters immediately run over to pummel Garou mercilessly. The killer is enjoying his slicing work when Bug God stops him. Were we told not to kill him? The killer apologizes profusely for accidentally sending Garou to the afterlife. Well, for now, let's just return to base and figure it out. That night, Teen keeps wondering why Genos wants to watch others play games so much. I beat this game, are you satisfied? Deep down, Genos feels disappointed. Because he is still too inexperienced to join the virtual battle that King and Master usually play. It's already 8 p.m. and Saitama hasn't returned, so everyone thinks he is still hopelessly searching for Garou. Genos believes his master is a determined person who will never return until he finds him. While worrying the bald guy fell into a trap, the group hears the young man coming home. Seeing Saitama dirty like he just went through a battle, everyone tensely asks if he met Garou. Saitama denies it, replying he just met some monsters on the way back. This area always has monsters running wild anyway. Then the group makes serious faces asking what the big deal he's talking about is. Caped Baldy dejectedly replies, I dropped my wallet, making everyone too tired to speak. And here we thought, you met Garou. Suddenly Saitama remembers he forgot the cabbage he just bought at the diner. Oh, it's just that, but making such a fuss. Truly messy beyond words. Just then, Fubuki stops by the room demanding to see Saitama to return the bag of cabbage he forgot, making Genos visibly annoyed. So he missed the chance to impress his master. After returning the item, Fubuki forces the bald guy to apologize. Properly. Having dined and dashed and then dared to leave halfway, he owes her this time. Genos is standing listening when he suddenly senses something approaching. Most everyone is injured and Master just lost his wallet, so the only one who can fight right now is King. What are you waiting for? Go out and face the enemy, friend. Thinking King would handle it himself, surprisingly he opens the door and invites the enemy inside to talk. Only when the steam clears does Genos realize the doctor is wearing a suit. Turns out he received a distress signal, so he personally came to check the situation. Although a bit surprised to see Genos beaten up despite the upgrades, he still feels glad the boy is alive. Meeting the doctor who helps Genos for the first time, Saitama asks him to take off his shoes and invites him. Inside, the mushroom-headed doctor is honored to introduce himself as a scientist specializing in mechanics. It's touching that Genos has such a wonderful teacher like him. Being chased home by the bald guy because the place is crowded, accompanied by a long speech. The doctor immediately takes out a gift set of premium beef to thank him for taking care of Genos, shamelessly. The young man immediately accepts it and invites him to stay and chat, even inviting the uncle to come over to play sometimes, leaving Fubuki stunned. And here I thought getting a meal out of him was hard. While preparing the hot pot, suddenly the girl speaks up asking if his house has red wine. Saitama turns back replying his house doesn't have such things. Wait, are you people planning to freeload here? At the same time, the two monsters arrive at the private room to report the entire incident to Gyoro. Both assess Garou as just a half-baked guy calling himself a monster. So now we will dispose of him. Does anyone have complaints? Gyoro is extremely satisfied and wants to know if he is truly dead. Royal Ripper thinks Garou is surely dead because his colleague stopped him too late. Tario is crying for the uncle's death when Gyoro asks what's with the child. If nothing special, dispose of him quickly. Regardless of what the killer uses this child for, we don't have time to play anymore. In about a day, the Hero Association will track down this place. S-class heroes are very strong, prepare for battle. While the lower-level monsters are planning strategy, Rhino Wrestler confidently claims he has enough power to crush the heroes. After hearing the story, Phoenix Man thinks he can also evolve like the Monster King. The female monster is training the slaves to face the heroes, and there are some idle monsters who don't care much about the war. Somewhere, Nyan allows his subordinates to rampage freely. You can seek revenge or do whatever you want. Except for the hero Flashy Flash, the two ninja monsters think psychics and robots are useless. How can those machines react to our ninja? Speed? Having nothing to do, the two invite each other to test their strength. Combined with monster power, they think they have reached the pinnacle of strength. Even if the opponent has psychic powers, the two ninjas are strong enough to win. We strike in a flash, how can they activate their powers in time? While leading the poor child to be disposed of, the killer coincidentally meets Machine God G5 collecting Metal Knight's wreckage. I will dismantle and study its detailed structure, so excuse me for going ahead. Getting thrown into the cell by the killer, along with the rich kid, Wagama. The brat looks up asking for a candy to stave off hunger, but having only one piece doesn't help much. To show gratitude, the rich kid promises to ask heroes to save Tario from here. From now on you will be my underling. Got it? Tario tears up wanting to go home, but Sludge Jellyfish stands at the cell door offering condolences. I'm afraid you guys will never go home again. From heroes to your dads, everyone will die. The rich kid optimistically thinks you guys will be beaten black and blue by S-class heroes. If it's Metal Bat, he alone is enough to take you down. Tario thinks that's impossible because many formidable heroes have been hospitalized. Seeing the rich kid still stubborn not admitting it, Sludge Jellyfish proudly boasts they have ones. Even stronger than S-class heroes. Especially the dragon-level executives with miraculous power. They are like works of art by the gods. Even if it's King, he will die. Although having lost a lot of blood, Garou somehow miraculously survives. Episode 4 Angry for losing to the monsters. Garou wakes up and asks himself why he fell asleep like this. He struggles to stand up looking at the sky, not understanding why he is still alive. Don't know if that ugly kid has been released yet. Garou plans to stop the bleeding, but it stopped long ago. The shirt is stuck tight to the tattered wound and can't be peeled off, so he leaves it as is. Getting ready, Garou flexes his muscles to prepare for revenge against those who defeated. At HQ, Child Emperor is about to find the Monster Association base when the executive comes to ask about the situation. Tatsumaki keeps rushing them while all S-Class members haven't gathered yet for various reasons. Even Watchdog Man and Metal Knight refuse to participate in this. Zombie Man is on a train coming, while other members are still silent. Mentioning Genos, Child Emperor feels something is wrong. He registered his address in City Z, which is above the Monster Association hideout. Not to mention the city where he was born has disappeared from the map. Truly suspicious. The reason Child Emperor is suspicious is that information about the enemy organization still has many unclear parts. If there is a mole, our plan and infiltration route will be exposed. Moreover, Genos is a new member, so he isn't trustworthy yet. The executive suggests why not ask Genos directly, but gets refused. Child Emperor is even considering removing him from this campaign. This is a rescue campaign where we absolutely cannot fail, so removing Genos from the roster to prevent risk is necessary. Besides, Child Emperor is also suspicious that Silverfang let Garou escape. Although regrettable, he will also be removed from the team. As for King, absolutely cannot drop him because he is our main force. After removing Silverfang and Genos from the campaign, the executive plans to bring some people from Class A to C into the support team for S-Class. Knowing they might lose their lives, this is necessary in urgent situations. Combat power might be lower, but it's better than no one. From the moment they chose the hero path, they accepted this. Moreover, the hostages' lives are threatened. So some sacrifice is unavoidable. The higher-up worries this will reduce the number of heroes. We still have to account for preparing for disasters that might happen in the future. What he says isn't wrong, but the executive sees the existence of the Monster Association threatening Earth's safety. If ignored, they will destroy humanity. He believes if the Hero Association overcomes this, we won't have to fear the prophecy anymore. I will be the one commanding the hostage rescue operation, so don't you dare contact Silverfang or the others on your own. Facing the boiling hot pot, everyone's face shows tension. Just as the meat is cooked, an earth-shattering battle breaks out, knocking King out instantly. Amidst the chaos, Fubuki uses psychic powers to grab the meat, but is blocked by Genos. You planning to steal my master's meat, Blizzard? While the group is busy fighting for meat, Silverfang takes the opportunity to grab all the tofu for himself. Seeing the hot pot depleting, Saitama wonders who allowed these people to freeload. The cabbage is all gone. Please leave. Simply over food, unnecessary arguments begin to break out. Seeing Fubuki enthusiastically chasing others away while the hot pot is wiped clean makes Genos irritated. How about I send you to dust right now? Luckily, the doctor steps in to advise Genos to treat friends well, otherwise the room would have exploded. The demon cyborg bluntly refuses, daring not to call that girl a friend, confusing him. Seeing the doctor has techniques to build weapons. For Genos, Fubuki immediately recruits him into the Blizzard Group's weapon development division, making the cyborg boil with anger. If you dare disrespect the doctor again, I will incinerate you immediately. Seeing Silverfang asking for opinions on teaching disciples to see where he went wrong, Genos tells him not to drag out philosophical stories while Master is eating. After arguing, the group divides so everyone gets a piece. Saitama tells everyone to disperse after eating hot pot, including King. Wait, it seems he's floored on the ground. In the deserted street, Garou quickly finds the entrance to the monster hideout and goes straight in. Suddenly detecting an intruder heading straight for the base, Goro orders subordinates to go welcome him. If it's a monster, bring it here. If not, handle it however you like. The next morning, King wakes up and learns he fainted from fighting for meat. Most everyone has gone home and Genos is undergoing repairs. After recounting the situation, Saitama asks King to help take out the trash. On the way, he feels this ghost town is so quiet and pleasant. Everyone says the monster rate here is very high, but he hasn't met any. Maybe because Saitama moved here, they all packed up and left. Or maybe they are gathering underground, accidentally discovered by citizens when peeking through the fence. King rushes to throw the trash and runs straight home for peace of mind. Standing in front of his apartment, he is suddenly accosted by association people. Both happily ask all sorts of things, then start speculating wildly, leaving King unsure how to answer. Knowing he spent the night in City Z, both immediately assume the stains on his clothes are monster blood and flesh. That proves he fought all night without rest. After praising him, the two respectfully invite King into the car to return to Association HQ immediately. Afternoon falls, the wealthy man sinks into anxiety, receiving no contact from the unit. Even the elite mercenary team armed to the teeth didn't work, so what can heroes do? Drowning in despair, he thinks if this continues, humanity will perish. The executive tries to reassure him and asks him to trust the Hero Association. We will definitely save your son at all costs. Helpless, the rich man can only kneel and beg in vain. As long as the boy is safe, I am willing to give my entire fortune to the association. Hearing this, the S-Class squad bluntly refuses the lucrative offer from the rich man. On the battlefield, what is needed is true courage to face evil. In short, just let us handle everything. It's just because there's a hostage this time, otherwise we would have rushed in long ago. We will give our all to save the boy and those poor hostages. After determining the hideout's location, Child Emperor plans to launch the attack at noon. We will rescue the child and destroy the Monster Association, so you can sleep peacefully. The rich man hears this, asks the executive to handle it, and leaves. Before rushing into battle, he will distribute tracking devices to know everyone's position. According to the plan, we will conduct a swift attack to win and rescue the hostages. If monsters escape to the surface, the support team will handle them. They are people with relatively good combat abilities. If it's just tiger-level disasters, they will handle it fine. Knowing Fubuki was also summoned, Tatsumaki voices objection. Because she doesn't want her sister involved in dangerous matters. Facing terrible pressure, the executive has to accept the request and will tell Fubuki not to come. At the cell, the cold-blooded killer comes to tell Tario to come out. I'll take him to my room to be my playmate. Hearing this, the rich guy hurriedly pushes his friend out, boasting about protecting him the other day, truly just bluffing. Hearing the kid cry for heroes too loudly, the killer sends condolences because the Hero Association only intends to save the rich kid. As for you, no one knows you exist, wandering in the tunnel. The terrified monsters discover bodies of their kind scattered everywhere. The group determines this might be a hot-tempered monster type engaging in chaos. If we meet it, we will handle it immediately so it stops disrupting the association. After cutting a line on the face, the killer doesn't stop showing excitement. Seeing that tearful face, He sincerely admits he has no interest in this great war. I just need to satisfy my bloodlust, and that is enough. Killing is my reason for living, so let me enjoy you. Just as he finishes speaking, Garou suddenly punches through the wall to rescue Terrio. Grabbing the killer's sword, he immediately strikes, turning the opponent into a split coconut. Then, using his martial arts to slice the body into pieces, Garou finishes off the killer and tells the kid to leave immediately. After turning the killer into a pile of confetti, Garou uses some torn cloth as an outfit and leads the boy out of there. When asked how he knew about this place, he replied, "Because I am a monster." While moving, Garou single-handedly takes out those blocking the way. After dealing with them, he tells the kid to keep his mouth shut if he wants to leave. Terrio scrambles to follow, begging the uncle to go back and save the other hostage while running. "Please go back and save him." Hearing the kid sobbing makes Garou's ears ring. "I came here for revenge, not to save kids, don't get the wrong idea." Seeing a giant dog approaching, Garou holds his breath and tells Terrio to walk towards him. Slowly, step by step. Sensing a bad omen, he slowly backs away to keep his distance. Running now would trigger a chase, so he moves slowly, but just as things seem to be going well, 3 monsters block the exit. All 3 dislike the hero hunter and want to eliminate him right there. Seeing the showerhead monster about to spray chemicals, Garou immediately uses martial arts to smash its face. The rat monster takes the full brunt of the damage caused by itself and sprays blood everywhere. Witnessing that scene, the boy admiringly praises the uncle for getting stronger as he fights. After recovering, the group has to admit he is indeed very strong. Hearing Garou compare himself to a dragon-level disaster makes their butts itch. After regenerating, the rat retorts, "You are nothing compared to the executives of the monster association." The remaining one confidently declares, "My horn is invincible under the heavens," and spins around, rushing to attack. Garou dodges to the side and kicks him, sending him flying into the dog down in the corridor. "Oh crap, I forgot it was still there." After the screaming stops, the dog spits the horn back at the group as a warning. Hearing the other 2 say the executive is angry confuses Garou. Isn't it just a dog? Seeing it cough up a massive energy ball flying towards them, Garou hurriedly grabs the kid and runs first. He's not foolish enough to stand there and wait for death like those 2 stupid monsters. The shockwave is so terrible it makes Saitama's entire apartment shake. Instead of looking worried, the young man just lies there finishing his manga. Luckily surviving that blow, Garou finally understands what a dragon-level disaster is. Just one attack with such terrible destructive power cannot be underestimated. Garou tells the kid to pick up his feet and run. "You're lucky to keep your life, now you're on your own." Seeing the dog aiming for the boy, Garou rushes in and strikes its legs repeatedly. Thinking the massage is nice, the dog suddenly spits a huge loogie at him. Standing on the boundary between life and death, Garou suddenly wants to watch superhero movies like when he was little. He wants to drink soda, but it's probably too late. For some reason, Garou is still alive and holding on. Seeing this, the dog throws in a few more shots to send the prey to the afterlife, glimpsing Garou moving around to dodge. It quickly climbs up high while firing to completely bury him. After the shockwaves end, the dog starts sniffing around. Unaware that Garou is right above it, he lets go and drops down, using all his strength to take down the dog. It looks powerful, but it isn't even enough to scratch it. It stands up, shakes its body to dust off the dirt, then gnaws on Garou's leg, thrashing him around before spitting him out and blasting him with energy. As a result, he is pushed to a deeper level and cannot move. Seeing Garou beaten to a pulp, Garou has to admire. To be injured to this extent and still be alive is truly amazing. Being helped up by levitated rocks, Garou complains about his methods. Using power, Garou easily binds and forces the hero hunter to stand still. Helpless, Garou can only stand rooted to the spot listening to the monster speak without being able to resist. Garou assesses that currently, he is only at the level of a half-monster. Surviving overgrown Rover's fire shows his body is extremely durable, but it's still not enough. Garou is ready to help Garou become the strongest monster. However, what he teaches isn't psychic powers or martial arts, but the secret to becoming a monster. by placing the body and spirit at the most terrifying limit. It sounds simple but is extremely difficult because most subjects die during the process. After many years of diligent experimentation, Garou created a type of cell that turns humans into basic monsters, but relying only on that prevents further development. He tried every method and realized one thing: only by overcoming death does a creature advance to a higher level. Amidst countless failures, he successfully created Lord Orochi. Garou evaluates Garou as having more potential than the Monster King. If he continues with the training program, he will become the ultimate monster, surpassing even Lord Orochi. Since I have my eyes on you, you don't have the right to refuse. Gradually, bit by bit, Garou starts to adapt, surprising Garou. Even he doesn't understand how he can move. Garou controls rocks to crush him to suppress the hunter. But it's useless. The more he is pressured, the more Garou adapts, eventually even destroying the rocks. Then he arrogantly declares, "You are nothing. That psychic power can't scare me." Jumping onto a nearby rock, Garou calls Garou a mediocre monster. Just beating him to a pulp will make the Monster Association collapse, right? Seeing Garou constantly emitting killing intent, Garou is unflustered and asks the Monster King to handle it. From the ground, Orochi's hand suddenly rises, grabbing Garou and dragging him down. Garou wishes him luck, then snaps his fingers to expand the arena. Back at the apartment, Saitama takes the opportunity to clean up and goes out with his trademark cape. The bald guy patrols while reading manga, feeling bored. Being threatened by monsters behind his back, Saitama immediately sends one to the Alta. Then he continues to complain about why real life isn't as interesting as manga. At the same time, Garou is strangled by the Monster King and dropped to the ground. Garou thought he was unconscious, but the hunter clenches his fist and springs up. Encountering the Monster King and his terrible power for the first time, Garou is terrified by his horns. Its attack range is not only long but flexible, leaving him no time to react before taking a direct hit. Although pierced, Garou stubbornly stands up to Garou's amazement. Without hesitation, Orochi immediately launches a barrage of horns. But all are parried by martial arts. To get close to him, Garou moves constantly, taking out a few monsters on the way. The more he is chased, the more shockingly fast his speed becomes. Thinking that dodging forever won't solve the problem, Garou takes a risk by attacking the Monster King head-on. He prepares a stance to deliver a finishing blow, when suddenly Orochi opens his mouth and snaps, missing him. Next, he reveals his true form as a monster, making Garou freeze. First a giant dog, now a boss earthworm? The hunter tries to find a way out but ultimately gets cooked by the fire. Watching from within a protective barrier, Garou is curious to know if he can withstand extreme heat. Orochi turns one hand into a fist and punches straight down where Garou is standing. Although his will is very tenacious, it is nothing compared to absolute power. Advised by Garou to give up to develop himself, Garou stands up and refuses. "I will turn this situation around, keep your eyes open and watch." He admits Orochi is very strong but still lacks one thing. Claiming to be the Monster King, but lacking fearfulness means death. "Let me teach you what fear is." Saying that, Garou enters a fighting stance with sharp eyes. Thought that was cool until Orochi assumes the exact same stance as him. Garou advises the kid to stop being delusional and thinking he is a genius. Lord Orochi can copy your movements and techniques with just one look. Hearing him speak, Garou can't help but laugh. He constantly provokes while hiding a trump card behind his back. When the opportunity comes, the hunter immediately rushes in only to realize it was a mistake. Surrounded by a swarm of monsters. Within the Monster King's own body, Garou receives a bitter ending he didn't wish for. Through this battle, Garou realizes the hero hunter hasn't abandoned his human side. Even so, he remains calm because the purer one is, the easier they are torn by conflict. Sooner or later, Garou will become the Monster Association's trump card. After patrolling for a while, Saitama suspects the noise is coming from below, so he opens a manhole cover to investigate. Episode 6. Through satellites. Child Emperor estimates the number of monsters to be up to 500. However, the concern is the leader-class monsters. Elder Centipede, who appeared the other day, was identified as a member of the Monster Association. so there is a high probability that there are several demon and dragon level monsters inside. Puripuri Prisoner assumes most are nothing to worry about except for special elements. But after learning to accept pain, he isn't afraid of anyone. Currently, information about Drive Knight, or Metal Knight, is still unclear because he went to investigate in City Z. Since there has been no contact so far, everyone thinks he has been defeated. It is very likely Drive Knight has been crippled and is hiding somewhere waiting for rescue. Zombie Man wants everyone to focus and not underestimate the enemy, but Tatsumaki refuses to pay attention. The group agrees that if they encounter any monster, they will eliminate it immediately to avoid losing their lives. Puripuri Prisoner raises his hand wanting to save those seduced into becoming monsters, but Atomic Samurai objects. Do you know how to save those who have been monsterized? The mother guarantees that they just need to receive his kiss to awaken, but no one buys that. Tatsumaki volunteers to handle the boss, but Flashy Flash won't let her. Who allowed you to decide on your own, you dwarf? Honestly, everyone feels Tatsumaki is very concerning. If she suddenly uses a move that destroys the enemy base, the rescue operation will be ruined. Child Emperor investigated the enemy base but hasn't found the boss's hiding spot. Moreover, their shelter is extremely complex, so the location of the hostage remains a mystery. Despite that, Flashy Flash still tries to expose the dwarf, forcing Child Emperor to step in and stop it. Suddenly, a Mai mask appears and questions, "Why did you leave me out? Why do only S-Class get to meet, and I don't?" Simply because Child Emperor planned to have non-S-Class personnel stay on the surface for support duties, but fearing he would offend him, he planned to keep silent until the end. Tatsumaki mocks him saying it's because everyone hates him, making the young man boil with anger. To soothe the situation, Child Emperor has no choice but to make him the leader of the support team, while the infiltration will be handled by S-Class and Atomic Samurai's disciples. A Mai Mask stubbornly wants to join the attack, even demanding to command the S-Class squad. Of course, no one agrees to operate under the idol who likes to spray perfume before battle. Feeling unheard, a Mai Mask starts questioning Zombieman's immortality. "Are you sure you aren't a monster? You were chosen as S-Class only for combat power, but everyone's background is shady. I'm not sure I can consider you all allies." Hearing a Mai Mask talk about a hero's responsibility makes the group irritated, opening his mouth only to fear damaging his reputation while acting as an idol. "Aren't you ashamed, you self-proclaimed pretty boy?" A Mai Mask believes that only when the S-Class squad is under his management will everyone truly be heroes. Why not take this opportunity to follow my instructions? The mother might consider it, but Flashy definitely won't. "Why don't you try forcing us with strength?" Seeing both flaring up their killing intent, Atomic Samurai tells Flashy to stop, but the young man stubbornly refuses to listen. Only when King arrives does a Mai Mask cool down and try to persuade him to join his command. "But why are you dressed so shabbily? Where have you been that your clothes are so dirty?" King sweats like a waterfall, declining to comment, but the two guys add fuel to the fire. He fought alone in City Z all last night, so his clothes are covered in monster blood. Hearing this, the group has to admire King's fighting spirit. Even a Mai Mask has to admit he is a true S-Class hero and leaves. "By the way, I'm still joining the combat team." "There's no way I'm yielding." After Child Emperor summarizes the entire hostage rescue plan, King responds with a pale face. Before leaving, the boss didn't expect the executive to have such a sense of responsibility. Having volunteered to be in charge, he also wants to be on the front lines to witness the events from beginning to end. The reason he risks his life is that he aims for a high position and to be recorded in history if this campaign succeeds. The support team is fully present, now just need to set off for the mission. Seeing someone raise a hand with a question, the executive explains the support team's mission is to exterminate monster remnants, protect surrounding citizens, and bring the hostage back to HQ safely after being rescued by S-Class. Additionally, the executive promises to help everyone get promoted after this mission ends. Looks like the shield protecting humanity is quite thick. Just then, a subordinate hurriedly whispers that Silverfang has arrived at the association. Thought it was something serious. Turns out he came to ask for a mobile phone and information on Garou's hideout. Previously, the executive told the boss not to leak news and politely chase them away. So he steers the conversation, wanting to know why Bang let Garou escape easily. Silverfang asks back if he's implying he deliberately let him escape, making the atmosphere suffocating. The boss apologizes for speaking out of turn and tells the staff to bring a new communication device for him. The truth is Bang didn't go easy, but everyone thinks he hesitated, creating conditions for Garou to flee. Seeing King struggling outside, the old man goes over to chat, startling the guy. Asking around, he finds out his colleague is here because he was summoned for the hostage rescue mission. After explaining, King tries to slip away but is grabbed by the shoulder by Silverfang and pulled inside to talk. After grasping the situation, Bang realizes the association has left us out. Neither I nor Genos are trusted. Knowing he has no way out, King has something important to discuss with the Silverfang brothers. I will lead Saitama and Genos to break into the Monster Association base, is that okay? Hearing Garou is also there, Bang agrees to come along. After agreeing, King arranges to meet later at Saitama's house and rushes back to his position. Atomic Samurai quickly notices his engine has stopped roaring. It seems he has controlled that power better. While the Hero Association starts acting, Fubuki feels frustrated for being cancelled by them at the last minute. Surely her sister Tatsumaki influenced this to stop her from participating. Above all, she is still bitter about the monster that caused her whole gang to suspend operations. I must make her pay. Although upgraded, Genos still has to consider unleashing his full power. The doctor pushed the output to the limit within the range of not exploding the armor. However, if Genos unleashes full power, he will explode. He can only unleash full power for 10 seconds, otherwise, the energy core will overload and explode. Just a little over, and he's destined for the altar. Coincidentally meeting Fubuki at the apartment complex, Genos is informed about the association's hostage rescue plan but doesn't care much. Knowing Master isn't home, the disciple checks the closet and guesses Master Saitama might have gone somewhere. Just then, the Silverfang brothers stop by to announce they found the Monster Association base. It seems it's nearby. After separating from the association, King rushed straight to the apartment as agreed. He solemnly asks if everyone is present, only to receive news that Saitama is not home. When asked, shall we rush in first or wait for the bald guy? King's blood pressure skyrockets until Fubuki speaks up. Why don't we wait for Saitama and then all set off together. The entire new Fubuki group will set out together. Being completely ignored by the group, the girl stands outside cursing angrily, but can't voice any opinion. According to Genos' plan, everyone will storm the lair to face the Monster Association, while he stays home waiting for Master to return and infiltrate later. Hearing this, King's engine keeps roaring due to insecurity. You guys are really setting off without bothering to wait for Saitama? When entering City Z, Child Emperor suddenly receives news that King voluntarily separated from the group to act alone, making him sad. Does he just see me as a child? Everyone reassures the boy not to take it to heart because King always does things his own way. The important thing is the monsters have sniffed us out. No need for his disciple to tell him. Atomic Samurai can sense the aura radiating everywhere. Even an ordinary rag can turn into an extremely terrible monster. Looks like it's very confident, even though the opponent standing right in front of it is Tatsumaki. Episode 7 Upon the Order of the Rag. A series of monsters suddenly crawl out from nearby buildings, making the executive stagger, said no tricks, yet dared to set a trap. Child Emperor tries to count how many monsters appear but gets stopped by Tatsumaki saying it's not needed, because this amount of monsters is nothing. Evil Eye advises them to count their own sins and uses psychic powers to lift nearby buildings. Witnessing that scene, the support team screams, not expecting the enemy to be this formidable. Evil Eye explains this power is called Grudge. The eyes on his body are from monsters exterminated by heroes. Lord Gyoro implanted them into his body, originally just a weak esper. But after merging with the power of Grudge, he could amplify his abilities. To avenge his kin, Evil Eye drops the buildings from above, making the support team scream. With just a point of her finger, Tatsumaki easily creates a barrier to block it. Seeing this, the group sends thanks. Who knew she deliberately turned off the barrier to let the debris fall? The executive shouts at the girl to do her job properly, only to receive the reply, "Why should I protect you people?" Luckily Pori prisoner is there in time to protect the executive from the rubble. Superalloy Darkshine grabs the others and throws them to a safe area. Despite being hit by a rock, Sekengal is unhurt, only feeling dust on his body. Truly worthy of the title of Indestructible Body, Impressing Others. Hearing the commander complain irritates her ears, Tatsumaki advises them to go home voluntarily. Being green yet stubborn will only be a hindrance. Amai Mask agrees with that opinion because their mission is support, not being a burden. If you are heroes, show me your strength, or are you too scared to move? Tatsumaki assesses Evil Eye looks formidable, but his power is gathered from small fry. Feeling insulted, he loudly threatens, I will gouge out the eyes of you two sisters and perform an interesting fusion experiment. Provoked, Tatsumaki declares she will teach him what happens when touching her sisters. Finishing her words, both fly into the sky, creating an extremely terrible tornado. While the group isn't paying attention, monsters run to attack only to have their heads smashed by Magic Trick Man. Then he magically summons a bunch of weapons to take them down one by one. On the rooftop, a monster found an ideal spot to dispose of the heroes. He confidently opens fire to eliminate the clown but is shot through by a one-shotter's bullet. For monsters hiding underground, Green controls plant roots to capture them. Breaking the siege and finishing them off is handled by the guy in the protective suit. In the manga, this might be referring to a specific hero or a description of an action. Given the context of support heroes, it could be someone like Heavy, Kong, or just a description. On the other side, the sharp-chinned guy confidently tells Mask to watch a beautiful performance. When the monster rushes in, the young man throws away the rose and veins pop out as he crushes the enemy. After finishing 3 monsters, he hurriedly bites the rose to pose. Watching this, Amai Mask has to compliment the hero fighting with sharp claws. At the same time, the little ninja utilizes every ninjutsu she learned to destroy the enemy. Every finishing blow is flashy and clean, making Flashy curious. Where did you learn that ninjutsu? Knowing the opponent isn't from the same place, he thinks that makes sense. Because where I grew up, there were no women. The support team consists of Class A heroes who aren't as strong as Class S but coordinate very well. Additionally, there are some potential low-ranking heroes trusted and summoned by the executive. Seeing him about to become a target for monsters, the white-haired guy pushes the brother aside to deliver a few swipes. The cuts are shallow, but it doesn't matter because he poisoned the blade, so just one cut makes the monster drop dead immediately. Finishing her warm-up, the muscle captain enters a stance and runs towards the monsters. She rushes in, thrusting a pole into his stomach, jumps into the air, poses, and throws a javelin straight into a monster's head. Then jumping down, utilizing it as a weapon to perform a death hammer throw. While sweeping the battlefield, she is suddenly thrown off balance by 2 watermelons. Angry, she clamps both to crush them but gets gank beaten by the group. Sekengal sees this, runs over, waves his hand to blow them all away, and praises the junior for having nice muscles. The female athlete thanks him profusely, then flexes her muscles to crush the 2 lucky watermelons. The result is blood splattering all over her, but at least she got some pointers from the black guy. Meanwhile, the Esper guy is struggling to use his power when suddenly the monsters drop dead. The boy happily thinks he used his power, unaware it was the work of Atomic Samurai's disciple. After finishing all the small fry, the Hero Association feels something is wrong because these were too weak. Knowing they would lose yet still sending small fry, wondering what they are thinking. While taking a break, suddenly a pile of monsters queue up waiting for their turn. Their strength and level cannot be underestimated. Among them, the arrogant Rhino wrestler stands out, declaring he alone will surround all of you. Wanting to prove himself, the thug confidently rushes in to unleash a technique on the enemy. However, it isn't enough to cause damage. He is even butted into the sky by Rhino. The captain girl sees this and throws a shot put at its head. Rhino casually butts it back. Luckily, Ian retracts his sword in time so he isn't hurt. Looks like this guy is stronger than everyone thinks. Even the marksman's bullets bounce off when hitting Rhino's horn. To prove his ultimate strength, he trained a lot. Seeing the enemy frantically rushing in, Ian draws his sword to block the attack path. Thinking it's easy, the group attacks together only to get face-planted by Rhino. Occasionally, there are ones who mutate to become stronger in a short time. Typical among them is the evolution of Rhino wrestler making Ian struggle. Seeing the disciple taking too much time, Atomic Samurai suggests switching shifts. We don't have much time, let me chop off that horn. Feeling insulted, Rhino immediately raises his fist, provoking him to use his special technique if he dares. In just a brief moment, the old samurai sheathes his sword and tells the group to move on. Rhino looks confused because the opponent ignored him without striking. Only when the horn shows a slash mark does he shockingly realize he was tricked. Before, Gyoro assessed his strength had reached demon level, even saying he could defeat S-Class, but it was all a lie. Witnessing Rhino being deleted by Atomic Samurai, the monsters start to panic and rush to ambush him. The old samurai pulls out a toothpick to swipe a few lines, sending one to the scoreboard, then draws his sword to destroy them all in less than a second, making the support team shudder. Not stopping there, Atomic Samurai wants to personally handle the reinforcements quickly. The monsters tear up. Before understanding what's happening, they are sent to meet their ancestors by Flashy Flash. His attack is so fast that the ninja girl is helpless to see it with the naked eye. Seeing the Darkshine Senior using his body to shield them, the captain girl worries he'll get hurt when suddenly Sekengal starts speeding up. Watching the senior run and monsters falling apart wherever he goes makes the girl find it hard to believe. Other S-Class heroes are equally badass, including Pori Pori Prisoner. After being punched to a bloody nose by a monster, Mr. PPP responds by delivering brutal punches. Watching this, the group hurriedly keeps their distance lest they be seduced by him too. Just then, the rag is mercilessly turned into a trash bag by Tatsumaki. She has absolutely no impression of it, so she decided to destroy it completely. In the air, Child Emperor detected and destroyed the hovering eye, albeit a bit late since Gyoro roughly grasped everyone's strength. Moreover, he still holds many extremely strong trump cards, so there's nothing to worry about. After sweeping the small fry, Child Emperor broadcasts a notice to begin the assault. The executive reminds the group that the top priority is saving the hostage. Since there is no support force, everyone has to fend for themselves. Seeing everyone struggling to push Pig God down the tunnel, Atomic Samurai steps in to help, then tells his disciples to set off with peace of mind. If any problem arises, just one slash will solve it. Deep in the base, Goro coldly uses psychic powers to turn weak monsters into meat cubes, then feeds them to Lord Orochi to warn the rest. Anyone intending to retreat or flee will become food for the Monster King. Just obediently follow a plan I outlined. We will definitely win against the S-Class heroes breaking in here. It seems Gyoro already has a plan to deal with each member. Episode 8. The transmitter Flashy carries was integrated with many features by Child Emperor. Besides providing information, it can also be used to make calls. The boy advises everyone to be careful because getting lost in the enemy lair means losing your life. Suddenly, a group of monsters blocks the way, confident they can take down an S-Class hero. Without a word, Flashy immediately sends all three to the scoreboard in less than a split second. For these small fries, no need to waste time talking. Moving for a while, Flashy suddenly receives praise from two ninjas. Both easily dodge the lightning-fast stab. Curious to know if that is your fastest speed. Tell us, the one who created the end of the 44th graduation class. Flashy doesn't say much and rushes into a head-on confrontation with the enemy. The more he fights, the more he senses the monster smell radiating from these two ninjas. After exchanging a few basic moves, Flashy carefully keeps his distance only to fall into a trap set up beforehand. That wire is so sharp that just a light touch draws blood immediately. Seeing Flashy skillfully dodge everything makes both a bit regretful. Almost turned you into small pieces. Saying that it's boring if people die too easily. They arrogantly liken Flashy to a bug rushing into a spider's web while being chased by wind and fire. Thought that was cool until the opponent suddenly closes in and cuts the walls to shreds. Both stagger, not expecting this hero to be so terrible. Realizing it's too cramped here, the blue-haired one triggers a trap to move the group elsewhere. In a spacious open place, he freely uses wire attacks without worrying about getting tangled. He even coordinates with the accomplice to unleash extremely annoying moves. Flashy is unflustered, striking to force the two ninjas to temporarily retreat, then stabs his sword into the cliff as a temporary foothold. The two stand posing, boasting they defeated monsters to claim this beautiful waterfall. Saying that, both pull out weapons declaring they are Hellfire Flame and Gale Wind. Of the 37th Golden Generation. With confidence, the two ninjas rush in, unleashing a series of flawless moves. They constantly chase, not letting Flashy keep his distance. During the fight, he wants to know who hired both of them. After dealing with the Monster Association, I will come to greet your employer. Hearing that, the two ninjas jump onto a nearby bridge and laugh. The ones who hired us are notorious bosses of a massive-scale underground organization. In response, Flashy reveals that the people you listed have all gone to the underworld. The high-ranking cadres of the Assassin Alliance are lying at the bottom of the sea. Simply put, I handled them all. The two ninjas plan to dispose of them all, but Flashy did it for them, saving effort. To say thanks, Gale Wind decides to give Flashy a ticket to tour the afterlife. He arrogantly declares those in the village are even scarier than heroes. Among them, our 37th Golden Generation is the strongest in history. Even if the opponent is the top of the 44th class, he is nothing compared to them. Flashy calmly blocks attacks from both, causing dust to fly blindly, then suddenly launches an attack that stuns the two ninjas. Flashy rushes out telling the opponents to unleash their monster power. Don't hide your skills anymore. The fact that you tried dragging me to a wide place proves both just became monsters and aren't used to your maximum speed. You arrogant bunch will never surpass me. Feeling underestimated, the two ninjas transform into monsters, advising the junior not to blink from now on. Finishing their words, both continue to rush and attacking relentlessly with upgraded power. They even combine with ninjutsu, yet Flashy somehow still reacts in time. While both hesitate, he unleashes the Flashy Slash to cut the sword. If the brain can't keep up with the speed, it's useless. After fighting for a while, the two ninjas have to admit this junior is also a genius like them. Flashy coldly reminds them, "Do you still think you have the upper hand? Not to brag, but I have grasped all your skills. I just need to understand the form of the martial arts to easily win." Hearing that, both immediately declare they will stop fighting as ninjas. From now on, it will be a display of suppressing the weak purely based on overwhelming speed. We will drop you as monsters. Finally, both say goodbye and chase Flashy at unimaginable speed. The two monsters easily destroy the bridge with just a collision, then kick the opponent flying a distance. Not stopping there, both continue to demonstrate the power they are proud of. In a moment of distraction, Gale Wind knocks Flashy's sword away. Having lost his weapon, he can only rely on godly speed. But then his signature trade is gradually caught up to by the two monsters bit by bit. The speed hero is gradually overwhelmed by them, punched until he coughs blood. Thinking it ends here, suddenly Flashy jumps up, unleashing Flashy kicks, making both dizzy. While the enemy is stunned, he speeds over to pick up the sword, then unleashes the Flashy Slash technique, turning the enemies into half a gojo, conveniently destroying their domain as well. Before logging out, the two ninjas complain. If you had a special technique, use it earlier. Flashy sheathes his sword, replying, I was just waiting for the opportunity to destroy both at the same time. If one escaped, it would be troublesome. Later, if you avoided confronting me, perhaps you would have caused trouble for other class heroes. In the final moments of their lives, the two ninjas admit they wanted to become rulers for once. Ultimately, what did we lack to reach that stature? Flashy solemnly replies, you lack training, then turns and walks away. Stopping at a fork, the young man plans to use the device to determine location but can't find it anywhere. Looks like he accidentally dropped it after the recent battle. On the other side, Child Emperor constantly checks the position of each member. Flashy's signal suddenly stands still in one place, but he's okay, right? While moving, the boy accidentally falls into a monster's sights. But before it can act, it gets riddled with holes by octopus cannons. Through positioning, the boy found the room where the machine knight was disassembled. By extracting the remaining data in the machine, Child Emperor can access it to search for the hostage's location. After tinkering for a while, he looks bored because the doctor knew the route to the hostage but refused to cooperate. Well, for now, just chew candy to relax the mind. After destroying the octopus cannon, Fiknant doesn't hesitate to reveal himself, claiming to be a middle manager. Although not a leader, I am very respected by everyone. Honestly, I don't care what happens here because the Monster Association is just a stepping stone. Then one day I will steal the title of Monster. King from Orochi. I am Phoenix Man, a guy trapped in a bird suit. Finishing the introduction, he immediately attacks with his beak. However, while he was rambling, Child Emperor set up a super durable film for defense. Initially, the boy planned to capture him alive to ask the bird for directions. But due to a bad mood, the boy decided to vent his anger on him to feel better. After finishing him off, Child Emperor doesn't forget to say thanks. Thanks to you, I've calmed down. At the cell, a toad suddenly clings to the rich kid's face. Hearing the noise, the monsters gradually lose patience, wanting to just eat him quickly. Suddenly, the group smells poison gas spreading everywhere and faints. After neutralizing them, Child Emperor uses a chainsaw to cut the iron bars to rescue the hostage. While he isn't paying attention, Sludge Jellyfish jumps down to ambush but fails. The boy turns off the shield and switches to using a laser flute to destroy the enemy. Seeing the monster heal wounds immediately, the boy switches to using another item, but it doesn't work either. While confidently crowing, Sludge Jellyfish suddenly discovers Child Emperor is pumping fuel into his body, then lights a fire, roasting the monster. Taken to a safe place, the rich kid complains he came too late. In response, Child Emperor glares, telling the brat to hide behind his back, then uses a remote-controlled tank to check who is hiding nearby. As soon as it arrives, it is blown away by something, and the one acting is none other than Machine God G5. Realizing the enemy is a machine type, Child Emperor blows the flute to activate a neutralizing device, trapping him in a high-voltage electric cage, then continuously sending forced shutdown signals. Unfortunately, this move doesn't affect Machine God G5. Seeing him approaching with a sword in hand, Child Emperor is forced to use 3 dog robots and proceeds to combine them by stacking. By doing so, he successfully summons Cerberus. Machine God G5 feels insulted, not expecting the opponent to dare use a demon dog to confront him. Before the two rush into a brawl, Child Emperor quickly fires bird trap bullets to disable the enemy's mobility. Then he takes the opportunity to drag the rich kid away from here as soon as possible, because the brat is the hostage in this rescue mission. Episode 9. The top priority now is to get the rich kid safely back to the surface. So Child Emperor has no reason to stay and fight the enemy to the bitter end. While moving, the brat gets startled by a monster's corpse. Child Emperor reassures him that it's the corpse he took down earlier. The rich kid thinks it looks somewhat like the mascot of a famous comedy show. This bird is dumb and slow, so it always dies, but whenever the next episode starts, it comes back to life like nothing happened. Hearing this, Child Emperor fears that if the person who turned into a monster inside the mascot suit still retains the resurrection property, it would be very bad. Just as the corpse is mentioned, it suddenly emits an extremely bright aura. Just as Goro said, the secret to helping a monster's power explode is experiencing a near-death moment. By that way, Phoenix Man has been reincarnated as a dragon-level threat. Seeing Child Emperor take out a glue gun to attack, he immediately flaps his wings, creating a blazing hot stream of air. If not for the protective umbrella blocking the attack, the two might have been burnt to a crisp. To face him with peace of mind, Child Emperor gives the umbrella to the kid. Since there are no more robot dogs, he is forced to fight with what he has. Seeing the flames blocked by the transparent film, Phoenix Man confidently unleashes an explosive beak attack. Child Emperor laughs, thinking this bird hasn't learned its lesson yet. Unexpectedly, it easily destroys the entire film layer and knocks the boy away. Phoenix Man sees this, laughs triumphantly, declaring, "I have become the strongest. I am the ultimate creature on this planet." Hearing this, Child Emperor cries because of his own weakness. The little boy is mad that someone like him forces him to use the ultimate weapon right here. Finishing his words, Child Emperor calls out 5 drills to combine into a robot. From the smoke, a giant hand suddenly rushes out, pushing the monster away. Child Emperor anticipated this possibility, so he had the components waiting underground. In response, Phoenix Man wonders why the kid didn't summon it from the start. Just as he speculated, this robot has a usage time limit, so Child Emperor only uses it in emergency situations. He hurriedly activates all features, then turns on the jet engine to chase the monster. Phoenix Man moves fast and can also create attacks from his wings, so missiles are ineffective. The robot Child Emperor controls has formidable speed but lacks synchronization, So no matter how he attacks, he can't hit him. By switching to another form, the monster's speed has been elevated. Along with a continuous claw attack, the robot gets scratched quite a bit. Being mocked by the enemy, Child Emperor immediately calls out several mini-robots that are both agile and numerous. Seeing this, Phoenix Man immediately switches to the blazing form to absorb attacks and simultaneously wipe them all out. Amidst the billowing smoke, Child Emperor suddenly dives down, stabbing with a high-frequency vibrating blade. Knowing the kid is anxious to end the battle before the robot overloads, the monster breaks the blade, then switches to another state to attack. Instead of aiming at the boy, he switches to destroying the rich kid's shield, forcing Child Emperor to fight while protecting the hostage. The monster triumphantly hides behind pillars, waiting for time to run out when suddenly he gets crowd-controlled. Child Emperor knew he would try to stall for time, so he secretly set a trap. The durability of the electromagnetic shield is 100 times greater, so no matter how much Phoenix Man struggles, he can't escape. Not accepting surrender, he switches to the blazing form, using all his strength to block the finishing blow. Facing fierce resistance from the enemy, Child Emperor risked removing the power limiter to unleash full power. If he wants to destroy this Phoenix guy, he is forced to meet up with another hero. Earlier the boy remembered Flashy Flash was standing very close to the position, so he deliberately punched the monster down here. Yet when he fell down, there was no sign of him. In the previous episode, the young man dropped the guiding device, so he had to use his sword to determine direction. Also because of that, Child Emperor only found Flashy's transmitter. While the boy isn't paying attention, Phoenix Man sneak attacks and evolves once more. Ignoring the rich kid's warning, he still wants to finish the enemy before he gets even stronger. Unfortunately, Phoenix Man has evolved and reached unparalleled power. In this divine state, he easily blocks the attack, then zooms past like a lightning bolt to reclaim the hostage before Child Emperor realizes it. Phoenix Man advises the kid to give up being a hero and allows him to run away from here. In response, Child Emperor seriously affirms, "I don't be a hero to be praised. I have more stamina than an immortal phoenix. And I'm not the type to stubbornly fight when there's no chance of winning." Child Emperor boasts so boldly because he still has a strategy to deal with this guy in the ridiculous suit. To thank him for helping him evolve, Phoenix Man uses the awakening light from his wings to summon the corpses under his feet. As soon as the light goes out, hundreds of zombies suddenly rise from the grave, making Child Emperor stagger. Phoenix Man reveals this is the power of the immortal bird. It shines my life force when activated to the limit to create simulated life activity. Basically, he doesn't understand it much either. The suit says so he says so. The zombies are weak but extremely numerous, making Child Emperor struggle miserably. Before becoming a monster, he was an actor mercilessly fired by superiors. In resentment, he assimilated with the suit and couldn't take it off. Knowing Child Emperor is trying to save the hostage, Phoenix Man quickly flies up high and feels like he has become a god. Receiving a signal from incoming reinforcements, Child Emperor immediately turns his arm into a drill to stall. Using that opportunity, the mini-robots will take the hostage to safety. However, the problem is Phoenix Man is still too strong while the robot is overloading. After channeling energy into necessary positions, Child Emperor immediately disintegrates the entire enemy with the energy beam around him. Then activates the engine to fly up and combine with the arm created by reinforcements. With whatever energy remaining, Child Emperor put it all into the final blow. Luckily, the enemy wanted to absorb that entire attack so he could safely finish him off. Only when taking the full hit does Phoenix Man realize this energy beam has extremely terrible destructive power. It wipes out all monsters on the path and even shoots straight up to the blue sky. After that blow, the robot is heavily damaged and stops working. Although he won, Child Emperor starts feeling worried for everyone. Just when he thought it was over, Phoenix Man returns with one side blackened. "Daring to make my beloved suit look like this, you must pay, you brat." At first, Phoenix Man planned to give Child Emperor a gentle death, but then changed his mind, wanting to make him pay for his stubbornness. Child Emperor smiles and changes the subject while his hand activates some devices. As soon as he turns into a bird diving down to pierce the robot, Child Emperor immediately pulls the lever, asking reinforcements to knock the giant robot up. Although a bit surprised by the crowd control move, Phoenix Man is still strong enough to destroy it. All robots and equipment of Child Emperor have become lifeless scrap metal. Despite being injured and having nothing in hand, Child Emperor's determined eyes remain unchanged. Because he secretly stuffed a tickle bug into the costume, making Phoenix Man laugh until he cries. Although the function is simple, it causes tickling to the point the victim suffocates and dies. In despair, the monster tore the suit with his own hands, causing all power to evaporate. Waiting for just that, Child Emperor pulls out a bunch of remaining weapons to tear the costume from the ripped spot. Helpless, he can only lie still and take the beating without being able to resist. On the other side, the two ninjas healed their wounds and woke up in a naked state. So both scramble to run out of there and accidentally meet Saitama catching sewer water. Suddenly, the two ninjas rush in to slaughter. Unexpectedly, the other guy dodges too easily. Both are extremely surprised and intend to stay and fight to the death, but they don't have a piece of cloth to cover their bodies. So they will remember his face, promise a rematch, and suddenly disappear. After Phoenix Man was defeated, instead of thanking him, the rich kid comes over to complain, being S-class yet struggling like that. What if I kicked the bucket? Child Emperor ignores him and focuses on reporting the situation to everyone. Amidst fatigue, thanks from Zombie Man helps the boy regain his spirit. Child Emperor tells him to be careful, then turns back to ask if the only person captured here is you, right? Of course there is, but he was taken by the killer. So instead of saying it, the rich kid hides it and doesn't tell. Episode 10. After the electrical system is destroyed, Zombie Man uses the night to ambush monsters. While distributing democracy to each one, he is suddenly backstabbed by a monster hiding behind a wall. The young man doesn't beat around the bush, shoots to take it down, then continues on his way. His expertise is investigating information and surveying monster-infested areas. Yet being forced by the Hero Association to fight to the death makes him sluggish. After wandering for a while, he decides to enter a suspiciously smelly room. There, a demon-level threat vampire is waiting for a prey to enter. This will be a battle between an S-class hero with extreme combat power and a blood-sucking demon hated enough to be beaten by monsters too. So whichever side sells salt, the monsters benefit. Frankly, they don't like the arrogant vampire and hope both slaughter each other. We are just the cleaners, so hurry up and start the match. While they aren't alert, Zombieman plays dirty, pulling out a gun to shoot but fails. Not only that, he gets bitten on the neck by the enemy to suck blood, making the monsters excited. However, the taste of S-class hero blood is so terrible the demon can't swallow it and hurriedly throws him away. Watching Zombie Man struggle up after being drained, he feels ridiculous. That unyielding justice will not be rewarded. Zombie Man doesn't give a damn, focusing on changing a new pair of magazines, then unleashing an attack so strong it bends both arms. Unfortunately, the vampire still easily catches it, even returns the favor, then turns to tell the monsters to applaud. While crowing loudly, he suddenly realizes Zombieman is still alive, even though his body is pulped. After a moment of reflection, the bloodsucker smiles, judging the S-class hero as a fake human. Hearing that, he angrily tells the enemy to shut up and casually closes in. Both say nothing and just unleash countless moves to take the opponent's life. Seeing shooting isn't feasible, Zombie Man immediately switches to melee combat. The vampire sees this and switches to using sharp wings to respond. After fighting for a while, he jumps on the sword blade, admitting you are much more interesting than that trash. Finishing his words, he stomps to break Zombie Man's neck to the gloating of the monsters. Just when no one expected, he suddenly pulls out democracy to blow a hole in him. Feeling underestimated, the vampire immediately tears a monster in half to absorb blood. By that way, the hole on his body is fully healed as if nothing happened. Lowly race who only knows how to rely on tools don't be arrogant. To show off power. He summons a flock of dark bats to attack Zombie Man, simultaneously sucking the blood of small fries to recover as well as maintain strength. The vampire thought this was enough to defeat the S-class hero until seeing the opponent's reckless recovery ability. Zombie Man inherently dislikes exercise, so he deliberately stood still taking hits all this time. However, if the vampire really wants to compete, he is ready for a prolonged battle. 30 minutes later, the bloodsucker, while dying, keeps wondering you should have died long ago. Zombie Man admits you beat me about 200 times, but I only need to win exactly once to end this match. It's been a long time since he faced such a strong monster, making him exhausted. The monsters see the S-Class hero exhausted and smile sinisterly, thinking their time has come and can't be stopped. Unexpectedly, Zombieman stands up, locks the exit, then picks up weapons to send 30 monsters to the scoreboard. After finishing, he feels safe to go out to rest and heal all wounds. While sitting sucking on candy, Zombieman suddenly receives news that the rich kid is being taken to the surface. He thanks Child Emperor on behalf of everyone, then puts on his coat to continue hunting monsters. At the same time, Pig God is standing eating snacks when he is blocked and attacked by a giant lizard. And Atomic Samurai's disciples encounter the mercenary group controlled by the female monster. Under her command, the controlled people immediately fire wildly. Remembering words his master said before, Ian calmly cuts all bullets, then closes in to slash the opponent against the wall. Listening to him, the other two members try to disable weapons as well as limit harm to innocent people. However, the armor and equipment they are wearing can absorb sword strikes. No matter how much they shout or persuade, it's useless because those controlled by the female monster will obey her unconditionally. The uncle gets annoyed, turning his sword into a saw blade to disable enemy weapons. The female disciple, after defending for a while, responds with a slash. Although weapons are destroyed, the group still has trouble with armor smuggled from the underworld. Exploiting a gap, the female monster suddenly unleashes a whip strike to gain another slave. In a critical moment, Amai Mask catches the rope with his bare hands, surprising her. Knowing the female monster can turn others into slaves with just a whip strike, Amai Mask poses, telling everyone to go elsewhere so I can handle this. Listening to their colleague, the disciples trust him with this place and leave immediately. On the other side, the female monster constantly shows excitement facing the famous idol. The two-faced girl takes off her mask, confessing, I am your fan. Do you want the two of us to be secretly intimate for a bit? If you agree, I will release the hypnosis for them. Hearing this, Amai Mask veins pop as he refuses, making the female monster even more excited. I will definitely make you mine. While moving, the disciples think Amai Mask has a trump card he doesn't want anyone to see, so he told the group to leave. The female disciple alone thinks surely he's dancing and singing to dispel hypnosis. The truth is, Amai Mask killed everyone without hesitation. Feeling unbelievable, the female monster immediately whips back to counterattack, but it's useless. Helpless, she drops her weapon and hurriedly kneels to surrender. Thought Amai Mask would have mercy. Unexpectedly, he flares killing intent and ruthlessly crushes her entire face. While watching Pig God beat a giant fat lizard, the disciples suddenly sense killing intent and draw swords to slash open the ground. The opponent waiting for all three below is Devil Longhair, a demon-level disaster. Seeing this, the swordswoman immediately falls for the enemy, making the two guys helpless. Just seeing a handsome monster and getting seduced, truly hopelessly stupid. The uncle is so stressed he wants to slash this girl too. Seeing internal discord, Ian reminds both that now is not the time to joke. Instead of standing here arguing, we should hurry to fight to reduce the burden on Master and everyone. The swordswoman hears this and puts her infatuation aside. Sorry, but I cannot return your feelings. Finishing her words, she unleashes 3 air slash strikes towards Devil Longhair. That move creates giant sword energy which annoys the uncle. Watching the monster use hair to block the air slash shocks the group. In a split second, the uncle suddenly senses danger and rushes to cut off the hair strand below. Ian quickly realizes the hair is thinner than a blade, so it easily slips through armor gaps and even bone joints. Generally, this colorful guy's hair is an extremely formidable weapon. To deal with him, all three close their eyes tight, focusing on sensing killing intent in the attacks to block them. Just missing one hair strand means losing their life, so the group must be extremely vigilant. Although trying very hard, the monster's hair is truly too annoying. What the group can do now is slice clean and cut off hundreds of thousands of hair strands. While rising to attack, Ian suddenly remembers a conversation with his master before. He always wondered if among the monster association there is a dangerous one like the prophecy. A monster symbolizing despair, what would Master do? Atomic Samurai pondered surely one must overcome human limits. We are still far behind many S-Class heroes, but at least we must keep up with them. After relentless efforts, all three cut off all the hair, causing the monster to drop dead. Although winning, the group doesn't feel glorious because 3 people combined still struggled. The remaining monsters must also be terrible. Among the monsters Atomic Samurai slashed, one blocked the move just now, surprising him. The monster claims to be the one holding a soul in the blade, then rushes to attack. Atomic Samurai doesn't give a damn, just dancing a few lines turns the opponent into a pile of goo. After collecting enough of his combat information, Machine God G5 reveals himself confidently declaring, "I have completely copied your sword technique." The samurai hears this, draws his sword to slash, and has to admit this toy is really good. "But I'm feeling very sleepy, hurry up and speed up a bit." Machine God G5 reveals, "I also have the ability to accelerate and create sword techniques that humans cannot reach." After calculating, he immediately unleashes a cheap copy move. The result is taking the full brunt of Atomic Samurai's counterattack and exploding into pieces. Using the smoke, the robot tries to shoot a final laser, forcing him to pause a beat to neutralize it. After that smokescreen attack, it took the chance to run away, and Atomic Samurai leaves. Seeing the ugly kid being chased by a monster, Atomic Samurai immediately unleashes a cut, forcing it to jump up to dodge. "Are you planning to pick a fight with me, Samurai?" Episode 11. Upon learning the escort will be taken over by other heroes on the surface, the brat jumped up demanding Child Emperor go along for safety. He obviously refused because he had to return to the battlefield urgently to support everyone. "Those people don't know how to coordinate, so I'm very worried about them." Saying that, both continue moving to the exit to escape this godforsaken place. Back on the surface, Child Emperor urgently announces the rescue operation was successful. However, what he receives is a strangely eerie silence. The executive thinks surely they are busy fighting, so they don't have time to check. Just as he finishes speaking, Zombie Man and Amai Mask immediately contact to report the monsters are nothing to worry about. The situation seems optimistic until Atomic Samurai discovers a child. Hearing this, Child Emperor urgently asks for info when the device loses signal. Being caught by him, the rich kid turns pale, apologizing for hiding it. Ignoring that, Child Emperor asks the support team to escort this brat back to base. Seeing the boy intending to return to the battlefield, the executive hurriedly advises the child to retreat to reorganize the formation. Ignoring the advice, Child Emperor hopes everyone fulfills their roles correctly, then leaves. Knowing the opponent is the benevolent and compassionate Atomic Samurai, Black Sperm thinks this guy isn't that scary. He hates his attitude of looking down on opponents, so decided to crush him with a giant arm. The old samurai easily cuts off the arm with just one sword stroke without much difficulty. "I encounter giant transforming monster types like you as often as daily meals." Black Sperm shows no fear because he is a collection of countless entities. Meaning no matter how he is slashed or smashed, he will still increase in number. Atomic Samurai confidently declares, "Then I just have to slash all your clones." Provoked by it, he starts accelerating, unleashing tens of thousands of sharp sword strokes. The number of enemies produced after each slash gets larger, but he has no intention of stopping. Also, because of being too arrogant, Atomic Samurai accidentally created a giant army. In a careless moment, he is beaten by one until coughing blood and starts regretting the foolish action just now. As a result, the old man is beaten black and blue by the Black Sperms. While they are off guard, Atomic Samurai struggles up to bury them all with the ceiling. Turns out while taking a beating, he secretly unleashed unpredictable slashes. At the same time, Zombie Man is investigating tremors when suddenly approached by a monster from behind. He is startled and before reacting, is blown to bits by Homeless Emperor. Preparing to go deal with other S-class heroes, suddenly he hears a voice speak up. From the smoke, Zombie Man suddenly rushes down to sneak attack. Homeless Emperor immediately backs off, shooting the skull away, only to shockingly realize the enemy's body suddenly emits an explosion. Ironically, Zombie Man's bullet was completely blocked by his energy ball. Witnessing that scene, he constantly shows annoyance, seeing his trump card easily neutralized. Seeing the opponent pull out democracy from his body to shoot, Homeless Emperor immediately wipes out Zombie Man with energy balls. Ironically, the opponent is one possessing immortality, so destruction is almost impossible. On the other side, Zombie Man also cannot understand the magic trick-like attack style of the monster. "What on earth are you?" Homeless Emperor reveals, "Until a month ago, I was still living precariously in the park day by day. At the welcome party for new employees, he was forced by superiors to dance naked, resulting in being fired by the company and becoming a homeless person. While lying, tossing, and turning, he suddenly realized humans have arbitrarily separated from the ecosystem Mother Earth painstakingly built. Homeless Emperor was horrified, not expecting to be treated poorly by such ignorant people. While wandering, a god suddenly appeared, acknowledging what he said was correct. Humans are foolish, but you don't need to die. Saying that, he granted Homeless Emperor the power to wipe out humanity's existence. Zombie Man wonders how you know that person is a god? Did he carry an ID card or something? Homeless Emperor doesn't give a damn, seriously forcing Zombie Man to atone with death. At the same time, Saitama is wandering around, fearing the ceiling will collapse on his head. Somewhere, monsters combine to unleash every attack, but poor prisoner is still too steady. Not only that, posing and dropping hearts makes the group confused, unable to believe the gap between Class A and Class S is that far. Don't know what this pervert eats to be so tanky? He explains it's because I accepted pain with a love deeper than the ocean. Hearing this, the monsters hurriedly run for their lives. The elephant sees this and immediately rushes out to block the way, not letting the group leave. Then uses the trunk to suck all monsters inside to steal abilities. Seeing the cold-blooded elephant not hesitate to harm comrades makes poor prisoner extremely upset. The monster doesn't beat around the bush, blasting him away quickly, simultaneously revealing I can freely use abilities until digested and excreted. Just that amount of time is enough to wipe out the heroes. Poor prisoner thinks that is impossible because S-class heroes are very badass. Before boasting loudly, finish the normal adult man right in front of you. Provoked, the elephant immediately blasts another shot, then mocks your body is crying for help. It is trembling because you took too much electricity and poison. With just a light touch of a fingertip, poor prisoner easily turns the wall next to him into rubble. Then clenches his fist, affirming this is new power born from love, silencing the elephant. Finishing his words, he rushes in, unleashing countless punches, sending the enemy back to Mother Earth. Just as its body is torn apart, the catfish runs over to carry its wife away from the monster association. Through the whiskers on its head, it can sense something terrible coming very close. Just then, prisoners turned into monsters suddenly appear, making the pervert's heart ache. My love's taken by monsters. Why did you turn out like this? How dare they do such cruel things to weak boys? Poor prisoner plans to use a love hug to purify, unexpectedly getting gang beaten by the group. They frantically beat and curse, making him extremely disappointed. He rises up, telling everyone to remember those brilliant days. Weren't we connected by passionate love? I will definitely save everyone from this situation. While the opponent is off guard, the monster Nyan appears and gifts poor prisoner a claw swipe. Helped by it, the prisoners take advantage to finish him off. Unexpectedly, the pervert can still move. Although injured, he doesn't give up, saving his loves from here. Even if taking countless punches, poor prisoner accepts them all. Nyan sees this, thinking the opponent's defensive instinct has awakened, helping the body evolve rapidly. Yet the pervert thinks the fur on his body is angel wings, making the prisoners feel nauseous. Putting love aside, poor prisoner enters a stance, rushing to attack, making Nyan's spine cold. The feeling he brings reminds it of the forced love of its old owner. Well, leave him for other monsters to handle. Just need 3 millimeters. Nyan can slip through any narrow crack it wants. Not accepting watching, poor prisoner urgently chases by swimming underground. Feeling his aura approaching, Nyan immediately speeds up movement to escape the pervert's pursuit. Also, because of chasing it too engrossedly, poor prisoner inadvertently caused the ceiling to collapse. He only wanted to take down that Nyan cat, unexpectedly accidentally killing all boyfriends, and bursts into tears. After all, the mother still cherishes and thanks the loves. I won't let everyone's sacrifice be in vain. His love is so deep that Saitama also feels the sadness lingering somewhere here. The important thing is, what corner am I in? Episode 12. While moving, King's blood pressure is rising. Scared to the point of wetting his pants, but Fubuki thinks he is excited. He humbly tries to explain, I'm not strong, but she keeps praising him to the sky. Not just Bang, but even magazines, everyone exaggerates. He's as weak as a snail, yet the group suggested splitting up to act. When will King escape this disaster? At the same time, Saitama coincidentally meets a group of monsters screaming in surprise. Pig God is feasting on a meal, making the crocodile shudder. He grabs it intending to eat it raw when suddenly he is swallowed straight into the stomach by a monster. It is named Gums, a dragon-level disaster ready to scoop up everything. Facing fierce resistance, it has to spit Pig God out. Without hesitation, the fat guy rushes to counterattack, determined to eat it. On the other side, Bug God constantly unleashes countless attacks, but the opponent stands still without budging. Super Alloy Darkshine expresses disappointment, because the opponent is reputed as a symbol of invincible monsters but is unimaginably weak. He angrily reveals there are 3 heroes people say absolutely should not be angered. First is Tatsumaki with psychic powers of superior destruction. Next is Kang with the super engine strong enough to send every monster to the altar. And the last person is me, Super Alloy Darkshine. But God reveals you angered the wrong opponent. My shell is an impregnable armor that even Garou couldn't penetrate. Saying that, the bug turns its body into a deadly weapon and confidently declares, "I will tear you apart." Finishing its words, it unleashes countless punches to destroy the black guy. Ironically, he just needs to wave his hand once and it explodes. Even he doesn't know how to hurt this body, so that bug has no chance. The black guy vaguely guesses surely someone is fighting a leader-level executive, causing the entire ground to shake. After defeating all monsters, Saitama coincidentally meets a supergiant dog. He pulls out a bone trying to tame it as a pet, but gets blasted a few times. The stubborn monster constantly unleashes countless attacks, making Saitama think it is the cause of the noise. Not beating around the bush, he rushes down to punch a dent in the poor dog's head. Then inadvertently creating shockwaves, shaking the entire association, making everyone pause a beat. Not just heroes, but even monsters have to wonder. Who on earth just created that terrible shockwave? It affects up to the surface, causing windows from buildings to shatter. The executive confusedly tries to call, but no one picks up. Gino's washing dishes is also surprised by the shockwave just now. He assumes it probably belongs to Master Saitama. With an ambitious person like Master, maybe he went straight into HQ to handle monsters already. In the crack, Nyan constantly sweats witnessing the bald guy defeat the puppy with just one blow. It secretly slips behind, scratching the bald head, making Saitama visibly annoyed. In just a moment, the cat quickly realizes death is approaching and hurriedly flees first. Deep in the base, Garou is trying to find the cause when Tatsumaki reveals herself. She calmly lands asking if it is the boss. The monster happily welcomes you to my headquarters. Only you are the one I think I must personally handle. I am the staff officer of the Monster Association and also the one who will create a new world centered on monsters. Finishing the introduction, Garou uses psychic powers to crush the opponent inside a rock block. It is trying hard to compress when Tatsumaki explodes, power mocking is that all. With just a finger point, her attack pierces the barrier and blows off its arm. Realizing the situation is bad, Garou seriously fights in true form. The aggressive monster unleashes super gravity downwards, even pushing it up to 300 times, but still not enough to treat Tatsumaki's stiff shoulder. Seeing that, the monster goes crazy, trying to unleash a stronger move but useless, resulting in being spun like a pinwheel by Tatsumaki, then body torn apart. She knows well this thing is just a meat puppet, so she doesn't talk in circles. "I will drag your true body up to talk." Suddenly realizing he is no match for this short girl, Garou helplessly screams, calling Orochi for help, surprising Tatsumaki quite a bit. Seems like someone mentioned that name before. Garou reveals he is a true monster, so this time you are toast for sure. He raised and brainwashed, forcing Orochi to absolutely obey every order. But waiting forever and seeing no sign of him, Tatsumaki mocks it, seems he is busy facing some hero. Hearing that, Garou trembles. Could there be an enemy more priority than my safety? The opponent is Tatsumaki, hurry here. Witnessing the Monster King burning slowly rising, Saitama shows no flinching. Caped Baldy politely asks properly, unexpectedly getting played. Orochi sensed imminent danger, so crawled up here to handle the root cause. Noticing the opponent is still alive and continuing to complain, the Monster King concentrates firepower, shooting an extremely powerful beam towards the target. Just then the dog wakes up intending to attack when seeing the grumpy face of the bald guy. Without hesitation, it immediately runs for its life. Stunning the Monster King, Saitama complains you are really something, daring to burn my cape. This time I will punch normally, no holding back. Orochi's instinct tells him this bald guy is that incomprehensible mystery. The monster of the town in rumors and the one who sent 2 key executives to the scoreboard. Instead of fear, Orochi feels extremely excited. All cells inside him tell him this guy is a suitable sacrifice for his resurrection. He is curious to know how interesting this battle will be. Orochi transforms in the strongest form, questioning, can you awaken my ego and emotions that have never faded? I became the ultimate life form thanks to countless sacrifices under Guro's hands. From a mediocre human I developed into a supreme existence. Fate as a sacrifice led you here. Hearing him ramble about prophecy makes Saitama's ears itch. I'm sick of hearing those kinds of self-introductions. I've met plenty like you before, so shut up for daddy. Just got a bit stronger and already imagining reaching the finish line. Feeling looked down upon, Orochi immediately calls out dragons from his arms to attack. Even if torn apart, he will continue to regenerate. Then uses full power to wipe out everything in range. It pierces part of the base, forcing S-class heroes to strain to defend. Truly a monster base, even lightning grows from the ground. As soon as the attack ends, Saitama rushes out at dizzying speed. He is more than capable of dodging all attacks as well as neutralizing them. Despite the destructive fire, Caped Baldy bravely rushes up without being harmed. Saitama just zooms up, then unleashes a punch, making the Monster King explode immediately. Before going to the other world, he himself didn't expect to be defeated by a normal punch. Turns out, is this fear? Accidentally, Orochi's shattered body falls onto a portrait carving of a god. Back a few minutes ago, Ken acted cool volunteering to follow Bang, unexpectedly getting caught by the group to go solo. So he has to rely on the ability to erase existence. Likening himself to an immobile microorganism existing in the air. Suddenly King is startled discovering the child taken hostage, rubbing eyes, crying. Can you carry me out of here? King bluntly refuses, advising the kid to choose another hero. His heart beats thumping like a hammer, making the monster mistakenly think he was seen through from the start. In fear, it has a heart attack, then turns into a pile of goo, traumatizing King to the extreme. Where on earth is Saitama hiding? Hurry here and save me. The next part has been announced, so everyone please look forward to it.